misses like this, man. It's crazy.
Welcome back, everybody. Anthony from Hook Optics. This is Backlash Radio. We got my buddy Nick from Miami, and George Sanchez of the Priceless, also from Miami. 48 Viking, does the South Florida sailfish scene. I appreciate you joining us, George, man. Tito.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man. So let me ask you and Nick, since you guys are, you guys are buds, how'd you guys meet and how'd you guys end up fishing together, and how'd you get into fishing in general?
I guess I met Nick through the tournaments. I got into fishing I was born into it basically. My dad used to have a 46 Bertram out of a Coco Plum Marina, and I used to fish with the Richard Peoples. He runs a couple of big tournaments down in Miami and up there in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I guess his dad used to be really good friends with my dad, and before he passed away. But we used to fish. Every weekend with him, and he really got me into what sail fishing is. Him and my dad.
Anthony, you know Brick.
Yeah, Brick. He's a huge huge Hook Optics customer and spreads the word. So I like Brick, and he's super nice to us and our business. So we appreciate it, man. Shout out to Brick.
Yeah, so his dad was like, he was a man, and he showed me and my dad really at the time like what sail fishing was, what competitive sail fishing was. Back then, the biggest tournament, like I think in South Florida, was at least to us, was the Coco Plum sailfish tournament, and that was like the event of the year, and we'd get ready for it, and we would never come close, but just seeing that in that atmosphere, all the boats would come into Coco Plum Marina, and like some of the big names still today would always be up in the top. So like just seeing that, and I don't know, it just stuck.
Did he run the boat for the tournament?
Yeah, he would run the boat, and I mean, I guess I wouldn't say I would make, but like it was what it was. It was tough to just get one kite out, but it was an experience. It just
gotta start somewhere.
So and then as the time progressed, his Brick actually would run our boat. He ran the boat a couple of years for that tournament as well. So it was kind of like the progression into what sail fishing was, and then my dad was hooked, or we were both hooked into tournament fishing, and we still are hooked. I mean, we got a tournament this weekend, so.
Do you fish with mainly your family?
Well, I fished with my dad all my life. And then, well, my brother-in-law, I brought him in recently, who's like even more obsessed with tournaments than I am, because he's fairly new to it, but he's got that young blood that like he'll do. I mean, well, he fished a tournament with Nick this year.
Yeah,
he's down for whatever,
Yeah, he's a man. He's just wants to fish. He'll watch baits all day. He'll hold a rod all day.
And he listens, so which is the key.
Yeah.
To learn quick.
So when did the 48 Viking come into play for you guys?
So we fished a 46 Bertram up until I was probably like, I don't know, 14 years old, and then my dad bought the 48, and in that conversion we ended up hiring a full-time captain and getting more, started fishing 2 or 3 tournaments a year sail fishing.
That was Steve when you got the boat?
Yeah, Smitty's was running the boat, and that was like in my high school years, and I learned a lot from him, and that led me into wanting to like drive the boat. But that kind of took us to the next level from the start. So and then throughout the years, we've hired multiple guys. Even Nick fished tournaments with us, and we've had some really good captains that fish with us. Raul, AJ, some really good guys that kind of like mentored, taught, you know, to win tournaments basically.
Yeah.
And so, and we still have some of those guys like Marcelo. You know, they don't do it for a living, but
Well, he did do it for a living.
he did do it for a living for like his whole life, and then he moved out, and now he doesn't do it for a living, but he did do it. So he fishes all the tournaments with us. So I mean, we have a lot of experience throughout the years. I've come onto the boat, and we learn every year from all the tournaments. I mean, and
How
I don't
important
know.
is it from, you know, building your team to have the same people fishing with you, you know, as you're, you know, you guys are, you're a self-professed weekend warrior, you know, like when you
Yep.
build your team, you know, you obviously have gotten plenty of uh mentorship from a lot of professionals, but like when you build your team and you know how important it is to have the same people over
Well,
and
that's the
over
thing
again.
that makes his team, you know, so special is that, you know, they've been fishing together for, I don't even know, 10
Yeah.
years. 10 years, it feels like. I mean, he's had the same people on the boat just nonstop, and they just, you know, they work so well together, you know, it's like
I would say
clockwork.
it's 100% like the chemistry on a boat is the most important thing on a boat. It's not, you know, like having, and one person could throw off the chemistry. Like
Oh yeah.
it's one person could literally throw off the entire thing. And I'm sure you guys have experienced it too. I'd say, I mean, it's the whole thing is the years of experience. Not even like, I have a full-time captain now, Ray, and he's been with me for like 10 years, and he just like he knows what I'm thinking before I don't even have to say it.
Yeah.
Full-time mate.
Full-time captain, licensed captain.
He is the licensed captain.
But he's I mean, I would say he's the reason why we could do what we do day in, day out, because he's out there. Like right now, he just caught 100 sardine, like he's bait fishing right now.
Yeah. So like, I mean, it's important to have somebody there to be taking care of the boat and then prepping for tournaments. So you know, you and the other guys that are not professionals can just show up and kind of get ready to rock. Because I mean, I'm sure you guys do your pre-fishing too. So you know, but at least you have what can be controlled ready to rock. So when you guys just hop on the boat, you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, it is a full-time job to be like competitively sailfishing. We got to have somebody there, you know, bait fishing every day when all these tournaments are every other weekend, and you know, maintaining the boat. And it's a lot that comes into it. It's not just, you know, just
Yeah. And the guy that they have, Ray, that, you know, basically runs the day-to-day operation is, you know, he's the man. Nobody works harder than him.
no.
And Tito's lucky to have such a great kid, just keeping the operation super tight, baits ready, rods ready, tackles ready. I mean, everything.
It takes it takes a special type of guy in that, because I started with the blood money, the previous boat I worked on. We started as an owner operator, and I did exactly what you did, what Ray did. I got the boat ready, maintained the boat, and then the owner would come and fish, and then he'd go home, and then I'd clean up and go again, you know, and I would try to do my best with the intel and stuff like that and try to figure out what it is. But it takes a kind of humble person to really be there for that. Like, I mean, I guess it didn't really, you know, it was a couple years, but then I just ended up starting to drive the boat. So, you know, but it takes somebody special to realize their role in it all, you know. I think that's cool and good for him.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's not, you know, he could easily go and you know, with the experience, go run a boat, but he's part of the family. Like it's a cultural thing. Like the guys that with me have been fishing for like 20 years, and Nick could attest. Like it's just like a culture, and like he's the main key of the culture, but like he's part of my family.
Yeah.
So I think the profession.
Yeah, I would love to hire him full time for me. So.
Yeah, they keep soliciting him 24/7. But he's just, he's part of the family, and the progression will be that he'll be running the boat in the future, and I have a son that is like 2 years old, and as soon as he starts fishing, I'm gonna be downstairs with him, and that's it. I'm done driving.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
when
Then
the owner.
we'll have a chance to start winning again.
Yeah, right.
when the owner he kind of realized he was missing out on a lot of fun down the cockpit, and just the camaraderie of it all, because being upstairs is kind of lonely, like you're the one driving, and I think for people that are successful, like it's kind of nice to be, you got to be up there with yourself, by yourself, and be focused, and you can, anglers can and mates can be down there shooting the shit and kind of maintaining a good vibe, but upstairs you got to get your head in the game.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy because like throughout the week I'm running companies that Sailfish. It's stressful, and it's my money, so like everyone's having a good time downstairs, but like, we're just like it's focused. I mean, you guys do it day in and day out.
What are we doing? This is bad.
It takes a whole.
I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what we're doing. I mean, nobody misses like this, man. It's crazy.
Deal with it, but I don't know.
Does it feel like, I mean, because it's just like, I doubt that it's as stressful as your full, like your business, running your business, but like it's still like when you go and you're gonna go fish a tournament, you basically have to, I'm sure you feel the same way after a long day of tournament fishing as you do a long day at work, when you got things going wrong and you're trying to fix it. I feel like you're still wound up when you pull in the slip.
Yeah, I know. Sailfishing, the tournament fishing definitely gets me wound up, and like it like peters off into like the next couple of days. Like my wife's like, "Why are you so?" I'm like, "Oh, we just fished a tournament." It's just a little bit more agitated.
Yeah.
You gotta be on it. You gotta be on the gas. Can't let go of the gas.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I could, but you still find, obviously you still find enjoyment doing that while, because I think a lot of times, and I think my boss finally realized, like at the big, like after the first couple of years in the blood money, that like he wanted to come relax and like smile and have fun, and and if you wanted, but he still wanted to compete, and then like you can't really have fun and be relaxed when you're up there trying to compete. If you just want to relax and go out there and see what happens, then you're just going to be donating money. So like it seemed his big transition was like, I want to do well, but I still want to be downstairs having fun with the guys, or the people, so.
yeah, I mean that's my battle. I mean that's definitely, it's the transition that I want to make eventually, but I'm not ready to do it. I want to win a couple more tournaments before, because I mean we just started winning in the last few years. We finally like figured it out. I think I don't know, knock on wood. Now I won't win a tournament in the next 5 more years, but
So let's talk about that a little. You put a lot of work in. I assume that for years and years it was quite frustrating, because like you're sitting next to Nick Carullo and Art, and they're getting them, and you're just like, what is going? You're there, you're in the right spot, but like you can't see, you haven't put it all together, right? Like, and that can be, I felt it for years and years. Like it can be really, really frustrating. Like how did you, when it started like that, and then like over the years when you felt like you were doing the right things, and then what finally clicked, do you think, from like being there and watching the show, and then versus being there and being a part of the show?
Yeah, I think the biggest click is the team, like we were saying earlier. because you could be there and I think that throughout 10 tournaments, there's going to be boats that get the same exact shots. Like you might be clueless and you're still going to get the shots. Eventually, if you fish 10 tournaments, right? It's capitalizing on those opportunities, like, you know.
Yeah, and there's been plenty of tournaments where Tito's had the bites to win. Their ratio was just awful.
Yeah.
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 I'm like, he'd tell me like, oh, just miss another one, and I'm like, how are you guys missing so many? This was like a few years ago. Like Tito would have the same amount of bites as the winner, but their ratio was just always awful for a while. Now it's like they're dialed in, but you know.
Yeah. It's a team sport, man. I mean, it really is. Like, you could be the best captain in the world, and if you don't have a good team, like, you're just throwing away money.
Yeah.
You're not gonna capitalize.
And it just, and there's the level of competition and I would say like even when we've had some good runs, I would say I never had more bites than probably a lot of the other good guys. We just always just made them count, like I felt like we always had a really good ratio, and I'd always talk to other guys and like they'd always have 7, 8 more bites than me. I'm like, geez, I couldn't imagine if I had that many bites,
Yeah,
so
I can agree with that. Like, I've been bailed out on my anglers like pretty much on a regular basis,
yeah, because you never know, like 1 or 2 just fish that you never thought meant so much, and then at the end of the tournament you're like, oh my gosh, those 2 fish we caught that easily could have just been misses or missed opportunities that ended up sealing the deal for us. So that means a lot. Like, yeah, that's a team for sure.
Having people downstairs that bring the same intensity as the guy upstairs.
Yeah, you got to have, that's the thing. You got to have guys downstairs that, they're focused. They believe in the captain. They believe in the moves you make, and they're ready for a bite at all times, because for years I've just, you just see guys where, when fishing gets slow, it's understandable. You kind of lose focus. You start drinking a little bit, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, things could turn around so quick. I mean, we all know that. Like, you could just not even be on the scoreboard, and then all of a sudden you get in a little rhythm and you start picking away, and that's all of a sudden you're like, oh, we could win this thing, guys. So it's just
especially with the fishing that you guys have had the last couple of years. You can't be
exactly. Yeah, that's I was just talking about that with Jeff and Louie yesterday, dude. It's just like and Tito called me before too, because he's like, what did Louie catch? And then it's just fishing right now. I don't know what it is, but it's just tough. It's just tough. So it's like, and Zig told me earlier too, it's like it messes up what you train to think, because it's like, hey, this is the condition. This is where we've caught them on days like this. And then, a random boat, somewhere else is just catching them all by himself, and the bite is just completely so slow across the board. It's so random.
It's a lot of luck.
Makes it hard. Yeah, it's a lot of luck.
It's a lot of luck. 8 fish winning a tournament, 10 fish winning a tournament. You capitalize. They capitalize, but it's not the same as like winning with 30 fish.
Yeah.
Still fun. It still feels the same though. Winning is winning at the end. But if you don't
winning is winning, but it just levels out the playing field when 6 or 8 fish win versus 20 or 30 fish wins, because typically, and not saying that non-professional teams can do well. I mean, they do have their days, but typically when you have good fishing, the really good boats, that's when they're going to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it down just a little bit, whatever it is, but it helps. It helps, and that's when Nick Carullo wins the tournament.
Not recently.
So Tito, like, when was the first when you really felt like you started to get in the groove? What year and what tournaments where you were like, all right, we're finally here. Like we're hanging with everybody and we're kind of building our confidence and getting a little respect around here.
I feel like 2020 was like a breakout, like everyone like would think that we're a good team, but you know, just win dailies and stuff like that, not like couldn't get the monkey off our back like to win a tournament. And 2020 we finally won our tournament, and we won a couple more that year, and that was like just getting that one first place was just like the domino effect of,
and it just like it all kind of releases, and the pressure like that you put on yourself isn't there anymore. You know, like it was.
Exactly. I don't know. It just felt like, okay, like the floodgates open, like, and the years leading into it, it's like, all right, we're a good team. Like we know what we got to do, but we're just not. It's like, you know, you'll win a daily or you miss that one fish that would have put you in the money, and it was frustrating for so many years, and then winning that one tournament, and then it just turned, and I mean, I haven't done as good that year as since then, but like every year we're consistent, and we know, in my mind I already know like what we need to do to win. It's just like a different, you know, getting that monkey off your back is crazy.
And the consistency is what, you know, what we're all looking for. You know, like if you're in the top 10 of a tournament, you feel like you probably got it. You probably had a shot to win it or be in the top, in the money of whatever tournament it may be. But like, at least you know you're in the general area, you know. But you know, because fishing there, even with fishing as competitive as you guys do, there's still a little bit of a luck or a little bit of a like a feeling of hotness that boats get when they're in the tournament. You're like, oh man, that was going to be a disaster, but it worked out, you know. But but if you're always up there, then when you catch those little breaks, you're winning instead of somewhere mid pack, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the first tournament that you won, and how'd that go?
It was, I won a couple tournaments before, but the tournament I'm talking about was the Miami Billfish, which is actually in 3 days, so hopefully this is good luck. But that was Miami Billfish in 2020. We won with like 22 sales, and yeah, that was the momentum swing, and we haven't looked back since, man. And we're gonna win it this weekend, hopefully.
Nice. Did you start out well in the tournament, or tell us how that one went, if you can remember?
Yeah, we started off with like a 5 bang or something. Yeah, it just I think it was the first tournament of the year too. Like,
yeah,
it was after COVID, right? And they canceled the last tournament of the year, and we had some good momentum leading into it. We won like a daily in the Jimmy Johnson, and we're fired up for the last tournament. It didn't happen. The following year we come on, we switched boats from the Contender to the Viking. I don't know if that had to do anything with it, but you know, first tournament of the year, first day. I mean, I think we won second place daily that day, and ended up winning the second day. You know, all by ourselves on the second day, which was, and I'll test Nick. I had a conversation with Nick the night before, and I was like, Nick, should I go back down there? And he's like, I don't know. They caught some fish down in Miami, and he ended up steering me into that, like going down there again, and we were the only boats down there the second day, and we won it. So I'll give you a shout out on that one, Nick. We had like a 30-minute conversation the night before, and he wasn't driving the boat, but he kind of steered me into that, going down there by myself, and we won.
Yeah, we've helped each other definitely over the years with some intel.
Yeah,
we've helped each other. It's been a good it hasn't been one way. We both help each other. We've always, I probably talked to him. We probably talked the most out of anybody.
Yeah.
Caught about every hour. What's going on? Nothing.
Yeah, so Nick's Nick's definitely been I would say he's a good key on like definitely helps me out a lot and I mean I don't have the time to talk to everyone and Nick has some good sources and he always helps me out so definitely shout out to Carullo.
Nice.
We had a good, I don't even remember what tournament it was back on the Contender. This was probably like 7 years ago. I don't know what we came in third for the tournament, but won a daily on the second day. And it was like a 359 bite. Like we were tied for the daily. We needed one more fish.
Oh
and
yeah.
Our buddy Al was like, I don't know what he said, something stupid.
I got
like,
pressure. I got pressure.
I got pressure. He's like, I'm like, what do you mean you got pressure? And sure enough, the clip's coming tight, and
all rods are like come together like
come together, and Tito calls it in over the radio, like just as like we're like Priceless hooked up, and then sure enough, this thing starts jumping, and where it's like reel everything in and just punched it at this fish, and I mean, we have a video of it somewhere, and I grabbed the leader, and it just was like, it was like we won the Super Bowl, like it was just, it was a sick one.
That was an awesome feeling there. Freaking Big Al Stern. Big Al's a buddy of ours. He doesn't fish anymore, but he's like one of those character guys who just always.
Yeah.
I got pressure.
Fun guy to have on the boat. I got pressure.
Yep.
That was funny.
Yeah, we had some good stories. Yeah. How about that final sail a few years back when we went head to head?
Head to head.
Remember that one?
Head to head, we're the only two boats basically at Ocean Reef. The honey
Yeah. What happened?
Tito ended up winning the whole tournament. He came in first, we came in second, and we won the quest, and Tito won the tournament. So it was a pretty cool. It was a pretty cool.
How'd that day play out?
Tito likes to say he beat me, which he did beat me, but he did not beat me on that day.
No. So all right. So the beginning of the day, I'm gonna walk it through here because Nick's not telling this story right. So the first day I ended up fishing down there, and we caught a few, and I think we ended up winning the daily on that day, and we spoke to Nick, and he ended up fishing down there that same day. He ended up his day down there, and he caught one or whatever. The second day comes out around, and for some reason we both knew we were going down there. For some reason we're down there, and there's nobody down there. And
yeah, it was weird. Nobody was down there. Like
nobody.
The entire fleet is completely 30 miles or so from us, and we're the only two boats there. It's like, that's kind of weird.
It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Did it look good though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was.
No, it's like when you're looking, you're like, oh, we're gonna get them.
Yeah. So I called Nick right before Lions In. I said, all right, today's the tournament's between you and me. and we both ended up with 15 that day, but he beat me on time. But we had one come up, and we won the tournament. Like there was like 2 minutes left, and had one come up, and we didn't even feed him. And we would have won the daily if it was. We were just so.
We were like, I mean, that fishing that day was so good. I mean, we were like, it's like we didn't even really have to like. It's like we both took turns getting bit. It's like we were just drifting through this area, and it's like he was in front getting bit, and then I was below getting bit, and we were just like leapfrogging each other all day. I mean, it was such a fun day of fishing. It was.
Yeah, that was when
the highlight that I'll never forget was there was, I think later in the day, a couple boats made it down to where we were, and it was just beautiful, like sunny, no clouds, and Tito, there was a free jumper, and there was a boat set up, and then Tito had a better position to get on me on the free jumper, so I just had to get behind Tito, and so I just sit there. I'm like, damn, Tito's on him, like he's gonna get bit right here. And we at this time, it was like just Tito was a few fish in front of me too, I think at the time, and we're sitting there, no one's getting bit, and Tito's like, all right, reel him in. Tito was gonna like reset, and I'm like, let's just wait here another minute. And then sure, I all of a sudden, I mean, it's like they just rose up. Like I'm telling you, 12 of them. There's 2 fish on every bait. I mean, we hooked a quad, and I think we jumped off a quad and then had another quad on. It was like, and I'm like, and Tito sees fish jumping all around the boat. He's like, I can hear him a quarter mile away screaming.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, that's it. I lost it. I lost the tournament. It's over.
So
That was the worst feeling.
when you guys like see a free jumper, you'll wind the baits up and I guess if it's in a reasonable distance, you'll wind the baits up and like try to set him down like where you think he is after you see him jump. Like you'll move the boat like at speed, right?
Yeah, typically if it works out the right way, is you reel your baits in the air so they're just hanging under the kite, and then you could just basically get the boat in position and drop them right back down.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work out that way, because if you're being aggressive and you're trying to beat another boat there, most likely you're going to pop baits out of the clips, and then you're like, get a spinner, just because then you don't have enough time to put them back in the kite.
Yeah.
So it turns into a kind of a shit show pretty quick.
It's a gamble. How far would you say the fish needs to be to like make a maneuver like that?
No, we've both have done it from, I feel like a mile away or more.
You gotta go. You just gotta go.
Like you just keep going and the baits are hanging dead. You get them in position and then you just put a new fresh spread out,
Just cut the kite off. You gotta go. You just go. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
You get the bite, so it doesn't matter.
And that's where like your crew comes in, like, because the captain's focusing on getting the boat in position to catch that free jumper, and then then it's on your crew, everybody in the cockpit, to basically clear the entire spread and figure out what's the best decision to do, because like you said, you could put 2 kites in the water, break both kites, they're basically garbage, and you just gotta get a bait back in the water,
Yeah.
Just gotta go.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. And how many times they come up like when it's like kites in the water and then the 2 baits are trolling in there, 4 of them pop up. You got it.
Yeah.
How fast do you guys typically go when you make a move like that? Like 15 knots?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on the condition and
what you can get away with.
And then also like we'll try and go faster, but then you'll hear your mates screaming like, stop, because your kites are basically, your kites can't take the pressure.
Oh,
so
my gosh,
they're going down, So then like we'll slow down a little bit, let the kites go back up. You punch it again, the kites start going back down.
Yeah, it's a shit. It's a show. That part. But you gotta go, man, because how many times there's a multiple there? It's not that one fish. It's the other.
Yeah. How is it more often than not a multiple when you see a flopper?
A lot of times, I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the time of year too. I mean, a lot of times it could be just a single or double, but I mean, there could be times when it just turns into the mother load,
Yeah.
It depends on the jump.
Depends. It's a big pack when you see them, 2 of them side by side jumping. Then you're like, oh boy, you're like, something serious is about to happen.
I remember the first time I was here running the Viking, the 56. I was like getting so frustrated. I was getting my ass kicked by all these boats from North Carolina, and I should have been. I didn't know anything then. Still don't know much now, but I finally got up sea of everybody, and I was like, it seemed like the lead boat was always getting bit, right? And I finally got up sea of everybody, and there was like 4 free jumpers, like right off my bow, and I just had to turn down sea into them. And I turned down sea, and fucking like 20 of them popped up. We caught a 5-banger, but there were so many back there. I was like, I've never seen anything like that, but that was here. That was cool. So we gotta look for multiple free. And you said, Tito, the way they're jumping, or just was that?
No, I'm just messing around.
Just a joke.
But yeah, when you see like That's always a good sign when you see them, a couple of them jumping. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess there is theories that how they jump. You know, the ones that jump straight up and the ones that kind of splash harder.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not gonna get it.
And sometimes they flop super slow. Sometimes they flop like they're just on a mission to get somewhere. You know, I don't know. It's always different.
Yeah, sometimes you see them like
We haven't seen I mean, I think the entire fleet this year maybe seen one flopper, which is
Yeah,
pretty
it's
weird.
weird.
It's crazy. I don't know. Something weird's going on.
Yeah.
Either there's not enough fish here or something, but I mean, usually you see a handful of jumpers a tournament, you know, I mean, I fished 3 tournaments. I think I've seen one.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
And we only saw one.
Are you just in the wrong spot is why you're not seeing them? Or just
No.
JC in the wrong spot? JC, dude, no floppers. Let's move.
No, I mean, Louis, the king of floppers and tailors he said I think he's seen one flopper all year and maybe one tailor all year until yesterday. I know he saw a handful yesterday, but I mean, Jeffrey's like, Louis going blind, or there's just no fish here because this guy's usually finding something.
Yeah.
Trying
Interesting.
to jinx Louis. Yeah, the floppers and the tailors, though, that's where you make your money.
Yeah.
Down.
Totally.
Little bonus fish.
Yeah. We caught one last weekend in the operation. Caught a double off a flopper, but that was the only one we saw. Oh, in 6 days of fishing.
Wow. So did you just win or not the silver? Which one did you just win? What did you say, Nick?
He just came in third in Derby, and last year he won it.
I gotcha. Tell us about the Derby win. Is that a big of a deal? The Derby for you guys is Miami. Is the guys from Palm Beach? Like, I mean, that's like
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a big one. It's a great tournament. I mean, Palm Beach. It's like probably, I mean, it's the oldest sailfish tournament, I think, in the nation or in the world, or
in the world. I think, yeah.
I think the oldest tournament in the world. I think.
Yeah.
87 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they run an awesome event, and we've been fortunate enough to place a lot in the last 3 years. I think, like, first, second, and third. Yeah, first, second, and third. Nick was on the boat with one of them. We got a fish CQ, and didn't. We got first and got a fish CQ, and they gave us second. But we won the daily that day, the first day, and then Art Sapp came out of nowhere and took it over there at the second day. But
we try to get him on to talk about it, but he's been busy catching bait.
Yeah, man, Art Sapp came out of freaking left field on the second day, and he kind of.
Hey, Art. Yeah, we got Tito on here.
Yeah. He
can make it, you know.
It's the worst. I want to win a tournament like that, like just consider like the last 4 hours of a tournament, just win the tournament. That's got to be the best feeling in the world.
Well, it seems like with the slower fish in there that that's kind of how it lines up for that to happen more. So somebody finds a pack and they catch 6 in an afternoon, or like in an hour, and they could go from mid pack to winning.
Yeah, I mean, with these slope tournaments, I mean, it's anyone's tournament every single day. Like, I mean, we won with 8 fish. Like that's nothing. The first day, I mean, in reality, it's nothing. I mean, I think like anyone could catch a quad and be right back in it.
Yeah, Art had like 2 fish the first day, and then I think he caught 9 the second day or something.
Wow, that's a good day.
He crushed it. And remember, Anthony, this tournament's a 4-line tournament too. Everything, basically everything else we fish is a 7-line tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little more challenging 4 lines.
Yeah, he was. I mean, 4 lines. I definitely feel like it makes a huge difference. Like he probably would have had What do you think, Nick? Like
Oh.
at least 18?
Yeah, with 6 or 7 lines. Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
when you're fishing the derby and you're fishing 4 lines, like, do you see a lot of fish around that you would be able to capitalize on if you had the 7 lines, or you don't see them, but they're probably there. You know what I mean? Like, is there just one
Yeah,
swimming
yeah.
around back there or out there, and you're like,
I mean,
oh,
I'd say sometimes that happens, and we've seen it for sure. But I just think it's a lot of missed opportunities. You know, you versus three baits on each side spread out 200 feet. Now you have 2 baits on each side spread out
yeah,
150
because
feet or something. So
yeah,
you're just losing a ton of territory.
yeah, and you're like, I guess I found that strange when you say that, like, because I don't really bill fish for more than 4 lines, but I got 2 teasers, 2 dredges, and 2 teasers out there. So I guess when in kite fishing, you guys, the baits are the teasers because it's the only thing out there, that's just other than the boat being in the water. But
Yeah.
the baits are so far away from the boat that the fish are like that. They're not even that worried about the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like particularly that tournament, there's like it helps with the multiples is the extra lines is where you get that multiple bite. Like there's instances in that tournament I recall that, like, they come up and there's more fish there the way that they're eating, and you can't, you don't have a bait there to get that extra bite. So
Yeah.
I think it really makes a difference in the multiples.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then the boat below you gets a bite, so then there was more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
100%.
filter through filter through you a little bit more.
A little
So
easier.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
JC's below you and catches a double after that.
That's so cool that, like, I'm gonna have to, when I'm here, because the way this is set up here is very similar to fishing like in Palm Beach up to a certain point here, like, and like there's a lot of current that wraps around and it's really skinny in one's, like, down below on the south end of the island, but up to the north where we fish gets really wide. And but they're like down here out front, like I'm gonna have to be like more cognizant about how the fish filter through, if I can just like get down below, or which way the fish are moving.
Yeah.
So especially with the sea conditions, so it's gonna be north tomorrow, so I'm kind of excited. It was,
Yeah. You're gonna catch 20 tomorrow.
God, I hope.
Does it get better up that way when like with the north?
Yeah, it's very similar. Like they're still act the same. Like when the wind starts to blow out of the north, like the first day I fished here this year, we were 15 for 26 and or 60 for 26, and I didn't catch a fish before. I caught a double at like noon, and then I didn't have another bite till 2 o'clock, and between 2 and 3:30 it was pretty flat calm, and then the wind started to blow out of the north, and it really started. I found a little spot of bait like when it was calm, and I picked at them, but then when it started to come out of the north, they started biting. It's like, oh, like this is what they talk about in the sail fishing. So it was blowing yesterday. Yeah, it was blowing yesterday, but they were not biting where we were, and I wasn't gonna go running.
Old number 7 just got there, Tito.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Right. They just punched it right after operation.
Yeah. Well, smart move.
Yeah.
Wait, they're done for the tournaments this year or what?
Well, they're sitting on the dock right behind me in Isla, so I guess they are.
Crazy. I like it.
Yeah.
They said, I
Wow.
guess that I asked Jamie, I was like, what do you, I know you guys fish a lot of the tournaments. He was like, man, just the fishing was so tough. They were like, we'll just go spend the money over here and hopefully get some more bites.
Yeah, that's always
That's what they were saying on the Sandman. They're like, if the year stays like this, they might do Isla next year.
Yeah, interesting. Well, hopefully, I mean,
Tito loves to hear that.
yeah.
I feel like
Get those guys out of here, dude. We don't need those ringers in these tournaments.
I feel like the fishing is, I mean, it's better than what you guys have had the past couple of years, but I feel like it's been kind of slow here. Like the time where it's wide open for a very short period of time, and it's not as consistent on either end of basically what I call the best time to be here is around Valentine's Day. So kind of it just seems like the consistency on either end of it isn't what it used to be, but they still have the days where they're all up cutting and the birds get down and they have good fishing. So I haven't seen it yet. I saw the birds get down a couple times, but they never really stayed down. You go by the bait ball and there's like 30 of them under there.
Yeah, it's sick.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. And the fishing, I mean, it's just our backyard, but
yeah, no, I get it. Does it, and do you like, I don't know, like for me, I'll never probably fish anywhere during the Ocean City season anywhere else, you know, like if I was in St. Thomas or somewhere, and like I would just hate to miss out on the Ocean City season. Like, do you feel like that? Like it's your backyard. It's, you know, you're part of, it's such a big part of your family, and like it's just ingrained in the culture of your family. And I think, you know, you would still rather go out there and work your ass off for 5-6 bites out front. And when you're at the top end of the fleet and you beat a couple of the heavy hitters, you feel really good about it versus being, you know, maybe catching 20 in Isla would be fun, but catching 10 to win a tournament in 3 days versus 20 in a day, it still holds a little bit more water to do it for you guys, you know, in your backyard in a tournament in Miami. You know, did you feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I love the competitive nature of it. It's just competing and being at the top is what I really love. And I mean, I love blue marlin fishing. I just never get to do it, but I'd rather catch blue marlin than you know, catch 20 sails. But the competitive aspect, I feel, is what brings me and the why I put money into it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
obviously we could not catch a tournament series and go to DR and catch blue marlin, and that would be that's you know, that's what everyone asks me, like, why don't you know, not fish this tournament and go to the Bahamas for a week and catch blue marlin, and I love it, but it's just that tournament atmosphere and beating people like Nick and it's a great feeling. It's just,
yeah.
and I, you know, it's you don't win it. I'm saying that, and I've won a couple tournaments, but when it all comes together and the plan comes together and it's just, it's not like any other, you know.
Yeah, good feeling.
Yeah. I mean,
It's awesome,
but,
man. Do you fish from the tower, Tito, in your boat? You have a tower on your boat, right?
yeah, if it's not rough, I'll be in the tower.
I was waiting to see what he said to this one.
Yeah, no, I'm always in the tower, man. There's a couple days.
Not always.
No.
Most of the time he is.
Well, I'm a dad. Like I mean, I do this for fun, you know.
He'll call me and he'll be like, "Is it rough?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's rough." He's like, "All right, I'll stay on the bridge."
That last tournament at the beginning of the tournament, it was like, I'm not going up there. I'm scared, you know. It's hard. It's rough.
Anthony, you want to know another priceless, famous, I don't even know what you call it, tactic? Tito is always probably 5 minutes late to lines in every tournament. At least 5 minutes.
Yep.
He misses out on 5 to 10 minutes of tournament time every tournament. They leave the dock at 30 minutes before lines in.
Why, are you not a morning person, Tito, or like it's just?
That's not true. First off, all right. In Palm Beach, we're on time, but in Miami, it's like, I don't know. We have like I'll go to my parents' house and we have a breakfast and we're just, I don't know. It's just I guess it's maybe a luck thing, but like it's just, I don't know. I mean, what's the difference between 10?
You just see like, dude, we're all set up and it's like lines in and like everybody, the whole like, we're all like at Triumph or something and everybody kites going out and all of a sudden you just see the yellow Viking coming through the bay. You're like, oh, here comes Tito, 25 minutes late.
We're Cuban, man. It's Cuban time, dude. We're a little bit late. I mean, it's 8 a.m. lines in it's tough, and these some tournaments are 7:30. It's like
7:30 this week, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
dude. I mean, sometimes it helps because then you just know exactly where you gotta, you know where exactly you need to be. One year in the Mid-Atlantic, I think we got 3rd or 4th place overall, and John Duffy did a Jedi mind trick on me, and I had to go check. He made someplace sound like it was like really, really good. Like it looked really good. So I was like, oh, there's gonna be a lot of boats here. So I ran there and it was like 40 miles away from where I wanted to start. And I was like, oh my God, this does not look good at all. So I steamed. And then like I was like an hour late and we showed up. Like finally when I got to where I thought I needed to be, I was an hour late and we stopped and we caught one right away. And I was like, oh, thank God. And like there'd been some bites, but I wasn't too far away from it. But I was really close and I was like an hour late. I think it did end up costing me. But sometimes you do that.
yeah. I mean,
you caught one. It's always good to catch one when you stop.
No, as soon as you set out, it's oh, God.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather be late to the party and be in the right place than lines in and just lollygagging.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah. 7:30. Don't forget it.
I'll be there at 8 a.m.
They'll set out and they'll catch one right away.
Right. Yeah, we just gotta get lucky. At the end of the day, we're weekend warriors. Like I said before, we are. I mean, we have one professional, and the rest we're just a bunch of Gilligans. And over the years, we finally got lucky a couple of times. But you guys are professionals.
How cool is it to do it with your family? It's pretty cool. Like, is it like? I mean, that's it's part of the DNA of your family is fishing. Like, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And do you yell at your dad? Like, because I've found that, like, when you put somebody on the boat that's shares your last name, the tension automatically kind of gets ratcheted up. I don't know why, but somebody can do the same thing wrong that your dad did, and it'll have a completely different, or your brother, it'll have a different effect on you. Do you have that issue too, or is it just me?
I can see where you're coming from. I don't yell at my dad. My dad's kind of like a laid back. He's a little bit older. And he just hangs out.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yes, I probably was more fiery at my dad, 100%. There's certain people that you could be on the boat and you could be more fiery with. I think. So yeah, like my brother-in-law, I don't get like too hostile with him, but there's other guys on the boat that will. But
yeah,
but not my dad back in the day. I did get I got on his ass. Why not?
Shout out to my dad, by the way. He fished on another boat in Costa Rica, and he was like 5 for 7 or something. My brother and him fished on it for a day leading up to Las Sueñas. And I get a text from my brother, "Dad's on fire," and I'm like, "Well, it's probably because he doesn't have me peering at him from the bridge all day." So good job, Pop.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a cultural thing. I'll be at my wife's family dinner and we're talking Sailfish and my brother-in-law's there and like we were like trips and stuff, like we're planning around like family trips, we're planning around like tournaments, and it's the culture, man. It's our lives.
Yeah.
Sailfish tournaments, like, oh, can't do the baptism that day. We got this tournament. You got to move it.
That's awesome. And is your wife? I guess she's been okay with it for over the years. Does she fish as well?
No. I took her fishing once. No.
I got you.
One too many times.
Yeah. It's a guy thing. And we got like the I got a little son and my nephews and stuff, and they're the Priceless 3.0 coming up.
Yeah.
But it's the culture, man.
Is the boat named Priceless because of the time you spend, like that's just priceless out there, being with your
Yep.
your family and friends out there?
Yep.
Nice.
So how my dad named it Priceless. So
Because I'm sure you guys were like super wealthy before you started tournament fishing.
definitely better off. Yes.
How do you become a millionaire fishing? You start with $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly. These tournaments, you definitely, break even is a freaking awesome year.
Yeah.
Right now I'm in the black, like I'm break even, and I seriously considered not fishing this weekend. I'm just like,
Come on.
that's it. It's over. Let's just call it a day. We had a good year. But
Tito's dad's the man, and I just thought of this now. I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. I think this was like 20, I don't even know, 15 years ago, like when me and Tito first became friends, and there was a swordfish tournament, and Tito's like, "Hey, why don't you, come fish the swordfish tournament with us?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool, I'd love to." And Tito's dad's the best. Like Tito's dad has helped me out so much over the years. But Tito's dad didn't know me at the time, and he sees me as like probably like this tattooed punk. And we fished the swordfish tournament. We didn't catch anything. I don't think we had a bite. And it was a night tournament, so we're pulling back in the slip at like 3 a.m. We're all just shot out. And Tito's dad, had probably like a couple whiskeys or something, and he's like right in front of me, he looks at Tito's like, "Why don't we bring this fucking guy on the boat, man?"
yeah, I don't remember that. That's a classic.
I didn't even know what to say. I'm like, "Oh man." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
That's funny.
No, Nick Senior loves my dad.
How do you
loves
deal
Nick.
with how does your dad, like when he goes sail fishing with Nick, how does he deal with the intensity of it all? We've never fished together, but I've seen some videos
No,
and heard some audio.
Don't get it twisted. Tito's intensity is the same as mine.
Yeah. I learned from Nick. Oh yeah. It's I mean, it could, it's just like
when me and Tito are in the tower together, it's you better have earmuffs on down there.
Yeah. No one else louder than you, bro. I mean,
I know.
But
I can't.
I just love it too much, man.
I can't get my headset set up on the Sea Hag now. I used to have a headset that would go down to the speaker so I could just talk like this and they could hear me, and then I couldn't hear what they had to say. So, but I can't get it set up, so I'm like yelling now, and I don't like it. I used to be a yeller. I used to have meltdowns. I don't anymore when I was a child. Not that I've grown up any since then, but
no more meltdowns, but
no.
Still assertive.
no, I feel like yelling, it builds a character, it gets the team riled up. Like, there he is,
Yeah.
I can't be like, there he is on the right long.
Yeah.
Well, that's what these guys do. I can tell you that.
Yeah, like how am I gonna get excited about there's another one there on the right shore? Like, I can't. It's not my stilo.
Yeah.
But like I'll yell and the guy's on the rod and he'll freaking just freeze for a second. Just frozen, like he's looking right at it, the fish eating, and I'm yelling, there he is, and the guy freezes. Like,
I think it's part of like, it's how your guys are fished too. You like, if me or Tito probably said like, there he is, right middle, I think our team would just look up and be like, "What'd you say?" Like they'd get pissed. They'd be like, start throwing shit at me.
I got you.
Because like they know, like if I'm not excited, if I don't have excitement in my voice, there's nothing to look at.
Yeah. You got you.
That energy, gotta get that energy up on the boat.
For sure. You got to bring the intensity. It's just different ways about it. I found with the other boat with the blood money, it was better to have a little
yeah,
bit
some
more
people don't-
relaxed attitude.
Yeah. Some people just don't
Oh.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
you gotta have it. It's gotta be with the right people. And I mean, and when you fish with like us, we've kind of fished with, most of the same people our whole lives. So it's like they don't. It's just what we do. It's all of us. It's not like just part of it.
Yeah, I get it. Sometimes I have to go up on the bow and yell by myself. Like I run down the front of the bridge and they don't.
But like it's
I'm
just like playing a sport. Like I just think of like playing football my whole life. Like my coach never whispered one thing to me in my life.
Yeah.
Like, and I valued and respected everything he told me.
Yeah.
But he chewed me out and yelled. But if he like were to whisper something to me, I'd be like, "What?" I'm like, "What'd you say?"
I think it
Like-
depends on the operation, but
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's just the right. And then, and when Anthony, the other thing too is like if we say we're yelling, we're not being
No, you're not yelling at somebody.
derogatory.
You're just
Yeah. It's like
No.
it's like all right, well, it's right middle, that's him. Left long, that's him. It's like
And you're way up there in the tower. Like if you're
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. The good thing is like a lot of the boats do it anyway. So like actually if you're within a certain distance of another boat, you could hear them basically saying all that, and you could basically are like, oh guys, they're getting bit. Let's put our boat in position now.
Yeah.
If they
That's
were all
cool.
whispering, we'd be like, oh, what are they doing?
Yeah.
yeah, you can hear if Nick's around a half mile away, you can just on, oh, fucking Nick got a bite. Go.
Let's slide below him. It's hearing there's some commotion over there.
There he is.
Well, cool, boys. Well, Tito, man, I appreciate the time. Good luck this week, and I think it's really cool what you and your family built there doing it. It's kind of a dream of mine. Starting to develop a little dream where I can have a little sport fisher and go out there with my dad and my brother. I think I think it's right now for me. I think that's going to be like the pinnacle of fishing is just to go out there with my family on our boat and do it. So I got a huge admiration for it. So, and to be successful doing it too, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I've been blessed. I mean, it's honestly it's like a blessing to be out there with my family and competing. I appreciate you guys having me on board, and at the end of the day, I am a weekend warrior. Just remember that. Don't use it as information. It's
See you at 7:30 on Friday.
7:45.
So thank you guys for having me on board, and
Hey man, well, good luck this week.
Yeah.
Nick, good
Thanks,
luck
Good
this
luck
week.
tomorrow, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Good luck to
Hopefully,
you, bro. Hopefully you wear them out over there.
yeah, if we're gonna go looking.
You can make us feel bad. While we're catching 4, you're gonna catch 40.
No, I hope. So, well, everybody, thanks for listening. Shout out to Brick Peoples. That was we spoke about in the beginning of the pod. He's been a big cheerleader for Hook Optics, and anybody feel free to check out the website hookoptics.com, and we appreciate everybody listening. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Tito's. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, boys.